Hello guys, I'm Cambridge Rory, or Cambridge English Teacher Rory from studentlanguages.com, and in today's video I'm going to be critiquing an FCE essay. So let's get started. It says, here's the question. It says, in your social studies course, you have watched a documentary on the potential effects of too much pollution on the air quality of city centres. Your professor has assigned you an essay to write. Write an essay using all the notes and give reasons for your point of view. So, keeping the air quality in city centres at healthy levels for their residents is a concern for many places. How can we solve the problem of pollution in city centres? Write about automobiles, factories, and your own idea. Okay. So let's have a look at the answer. I'll make corrections on this one. Immediately I can see that this is too long. If I had to guess, I'd guess it's about 50 words over the top of the limit for the P2 First Writing. So if an examiner sees this, he's almost going to have in his mind that there's irrelevant information here and mark it down. And I will try to point out some of that as we go through. So, let's start. Pollution in city centres is a pressing issue, that's nice language, that needs to be addressed by both the government and residents in order to maintain healthy air quality. Okay, it's a good sentence. In this essay, I will explore possible solutions for the problem. Okay. Okay, so there's ways we can immediately remove language. So, for example, we could actually cut this out. That needs to be addressed in order to maintain healthy air quality, for example. And that's what I would do. I would cut it down to get it nearer to that word limit. A serious harm is caused by car emissions. Okay, serious harm is a little bit general. I mean, it's good to have a general opening sentence to a paragraph, but it would be better to say something like car emissions seriously harm people's health, for example. The growing number of cars in the city centres, yep, you can actually say without the here, in city centres, makes people. Okay, it's good here. Number of with the plural thing, the plural noun is good. And I can see that we're immediately answering the question in this first paragraph about automobiles, using different words rather than automobile. So that's good. The first step to tackle the problem can be the ban of private cars in city centres. And okay, what I would actually do is say the first step to tackle the problem, I'd probably say could be banning without the. Okay, what I'm gonna do, because I think it would be useful, is actually cut down the essay as I'm doing this, because I think this would be really useful. So the first step to tackling the problem could be banning private cars. I don't think we need to say in city centres again, because we already say that in the we already say that in the sentence before about city centres. So I think we can actually remove this. The banning of private cars and creating, it could be banning private cars and creating more pedestrian zones. Okay. And probably I would also say the first step to tackling the problem. We say the first step to doing something with an ing. It's not that this is all bad language, it's just I'm also trying to reduce the word count. So Again, we could remove this here, make people choke. What you could say, the growing number of cars in city centres suffocates people, which is a shorter way. There's probably a lot of ways I could make it shorter, so actually maybe I won't do this throughout, but I will just say things, alternatives which are shorter for you. So another solution may be a system of cycling lanes. Yeah, a system of cycling lanes which encourages people to use an alternative way of commuting. Good. Yep. Okay. Another detrimental cause. Maybe I would use another word for another because we also use it in the previous sentence. And it's good to show a variety of languages if possible. Another detrimental cause is the work of factories which contribute to the city pollution. Yeah, just to city pollution. Okay, now we're talking about factories, which was the second point. Carbon dioxide produced in the process of burning fossil fuels. So this could be a bit better, produced in the process, rather than using, I could say, produced by burning, for example, just to cut it down, make it shorter. Fossil fuels go straight into the air, causing smog. Good word. And making residents inhale all the chemicals and later suffer from serious diseases such as asthma. Right, so in terms of language, we have some good, less common words and phrases used throughout the essay. For example, smog. I don't think many of the watchers of this video will know the word smog. It's appropriately formal for an essay at the moment, I would say. There are times when a wider variety of language could be used to avoid repetition. In terms of content, right, I'm going to say something about it now. The content could be reduced mainly by more efficient use of language and less repetition of certain words and phrases. For example, the city centres, which I will continue to speak about throughout. Okay, like here, for example, that's what I was talking about. Okay, the third solution will be to plant more trees. Okay, I just want to have a look at this question again. Yeah, okay, good. So we're talking about the problem number one, we're talking about solutions to it. We're talking about problem number two, we're talking about solutions to it. In fact, we're not actually talking about solutions to this problem here. So that's something to think about, because it says, how can we solve the problem? Talking about factories. So this would probably be a good paragraph to restructure and rethink in terms of how we can solve this problem, rather than just stating the problem. It's worth thinking about. And that's another problem in terms of content. So the content, I think, see, there's too much. That's the main problem. But also this paragraph, it needs to be rethought. Let's talk more about solutions. So it's not good enough, unfortunately, for content. At the moment, I'm giving it a 2. The third solution will be to plant more trees and create more green spaces. Okay, Trees and plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, which helps to reduce the overall levels of air pollution in urban areas. Okay, that's fine. By integrating green parks into city centres, cities not only enhance the aesthetic quality of urban spaces, but also combat pollution and create a more sustainable, healthier environment for residents. A really good paragraph in terms of language, in terms of the idea. Yeah, and if we can restructure all of it, maybe we could keep this paragraph as it is. It depends on how we restructure and reduce. Maybe it would be a good idea actually to rewrite this essay, trying to reduce the number of words, trying to change this second main paragraph and resend it to me so I can read it again and critique it again. That could be a good idea. To sum up, it is clear that cities are faced with such challenges as air pollution due to the transport, factories and lack of greenery. Yeah. I would actually not say the, just say due to transport, factories and lack of greenery. It is crucial for residents and the authorities, I would probably say, because we're talking about various cities. Residents and the authorities to take responsibility for the place they live in and make a difference. Okay, fine. It's a fine conclusion. The flow of the writing is also fine. It's easy to follow in terms of communicative achievement. This paragraph is not doing what it's intended to do, but the rest of the essay is fine. So, in terms of communicative achievement, we're getting our points across. Again, it's kind of related to content in the sense that there's too much here though, and you could actually make the main points could be made more succinctly, which means with fewer words and more accurately, with more precision, and although, but in a good way, the flow of the writing is easy to follow for the reader, so that's good. But the second main paragraph about factories is not really putting across the real intention. It's not really answering the question. It's not giving solutions. And so the poignancy, if you know that word, is lacking because of that. Organization overall, it's absolutely fine in terms of structure. Overall structure, the overall structure of the essay is absolutely fine. There are clearly separated paragraphs. The individual paragraphs, I think, are quite well built. Yeah, nice, for example here, nice opening idea, and then backing it up, saying why. By with a verb with an ing, by with a gerund, to give more points is a nice way to build on what was said previously. Up here we have another solution, so that's building on the sentence before. Yeah, I said about changing this part earlier in the essay. So yeah, but the overall and on an individual paragraph level, it's fine. Paragraphs are also well built, even if not all the content is relevant. That doesn't affect the organization. So organization, I'm thinking 3. And again, back to language. So there was some nice language used throughout, as I said. Some good words and phrases. There are times when more variety of language could be used to avoid repetition. But yeah, I think I mentioned while I was reading it some of the good language that was here. Lack of greenery, for example. This is a less common phrase, which is a nice phrase. To sum up, it's a nice phrase and also contribute to the organization. It's a good concluding phrase to use. Got a variety of grammar structures, so will be to do this for the future. Maybe, so we're using, yeah, modal verbs. So yeah, I think that the language is good enough. That there are ways we could maybe improve it a little bit, but generally I think it's good enough, and I'd give it a 3. But the main problem of this is the first 2 points about the content and the communicative achievement, and that's why I can't give it a pass, unfortunately. So we're getting a 2 here, a 2 here, a 3 here, and a 3 here. Just 2, 4, 7, 10. 10 out of 20, but you need to be getting 12, really, or at least in the second part of the writing paper, you'd need to get 14 in order to average out 24 out of 40 marks. But yes, I think it's worth revising this writing and trying to cut down the number of words. That is the main problem, and also solving this second main paragraph to make it more about solutions. So I hope this video was useful, and I hope that you can go away and use it to improve on your next writing. I've been Cambridge English teacher Rory, or Cambridge Rory, from studentlanguages.com. I'll see you in another video soon.